So free speech is under attack here, Dr. Chloe. We certainly saw a killer, take out Charlie Kirk, who believed in free speech. He was on campuses to promote free speech. I've been worried about what's going on at college campuses for years because it seems to be so one-sided, such just left-wing indoctrination. When I went to college, it was more of a debate atmosphere where all sides were welcomed. And I think there are a lot of people that don't want to hear from conservatives on college campuses. That's a threat to free speech, isn't it?
Absolutely. In fact, they consider it a threat to their existence, right? To hear from people that they don't like. And you're absolutely right, Jeff, that when you went to college and when I went to college, the skew of liberal faculty was certainly always stronger than to conservatives, but it's nowhere near it like what it is now. For example, in New England, the liberal to conservative faculty ratio is 28 to 1. And so we have these phrases like words or violence flying around to the point where people feel justified in using actual violence as, quote, self-defense against speech that they don't like. As a psychologist, I think it's psychotic.
Well, and I'm glad you've written about this, and you've talked about "Can I Say That?" One of your books, "How Free Speech Matters and How to Use It Fearlessly." Boy, Charlie Kirk was certainly doing that. He was fearless. He knew there were threats against him. He knew people wanted to shut him up. He went out there anyway, and he lost his life because of it. We certainly see seemingly to me, a lot of left-wing violence that is occurring now. They're going after conservatives. The rhetoric that we see from some of these politicians on the left, Nazi, Hitler, Gestapo. I mean, that just riles up people that are already deranged, and they commit acts of violence. So these are real concerns for those of us who do believe in the First Amendment, believe in free speech.
Absolutely. I was at one of Charlie's events this past summer. I mean, what an amazing man. But to your point, as far as the politics of this, I mean, I think free speech should be owned by people on all sides of the aisle. It's for all of us. However, as I explain in my book, Can I Say That? There is something unique coming from the left here. There's two things which I think are related. One is what I call dialogue intolerance. So liberals are statistically more likely than conservatives to disinvite a speaker, defriend on Facebook, drop in real life, distance in real life, or decline to date over political differences. They're also statistically much more likely, like we're talking double to 8 times more likely, to endorse or celebrate political violence. And as a psychologist, this makes perfect sense to me because when you have a violent offender, the first thing you want to do is teach them to use their words. So the left, I think that I try to be compassionate. I'm assuming that they mean well. They're shutting down dialogue because they are misinformed. They think the right is truly Hitler and whatnot. So then they don't want to talk. And as a psychologist, we know that when you don't talk, that's when you're more vulnerable to acting out with
Right.
violence. So we need to reach them.
How did this happen? I mean, how did it get to this point? I mean, I know a lot of people that have lost touch with their children because their children are more left wing. They've become alienated. Friendships have been lost, and it's usually the left winger that is saying, no, I can't be friends with you if you support MAGA and Donald Trump. I've experienced that with people on the left. So, how did this happen? And unfortunately, we only have about a minute. So, tell us,
Yeah,
Dr. Chloe.
yeah, to your point, whether it be powerful politicians that are suggesting, that MAGA equals, Gestapo and slave trade, or large amounts of media where you hear, Stephen Miller being called an absolute white supremacist. And so therefore, they feel as if they are just simply being virtuous. And I think unfortunately, vast majority of Americans who are liberal are being very misled, factually misled. And so I look to politicians and to general media as well as to most of academia for truly, that's where the true misinformation I think is coming from.